And what's up, everybody? Producer Mark here with Start With a Win in our Start With a Win bunkers. Here we are. And hey, today we got a special guest. Today we have none other than the CEO of RE/MAX, Adam Contos. Welcome him to the podcast, everybody.
Woo!
Adam.
Hi, Mark.
How are you doing?
I'm good. This is kind of awkward.
Well, hey, we've been talking about, podcasting. We've been talking about, creating solo casts. We have a lot of great interviews on this show. And you and I thought we said, hey, why don't we just interview you? We don't ever get to hear from you on this side of the mic, in the sense of I never get to ask you questions about certain things. We kind of discuss topics and we talk about those topics, but I actually just wanted to interview you, get to know you a little bit better. A lot of our audience who maybe has tuned in the past few months maybe don't know you that well, and so I would like to get into Adam's brain and understand who he is, how he ticks, and maybe we'll even do like a lightning round of some of your favorite things.
Oh wow, this should be fun. I'm looking forward to this.
This should,
or
be
it's
fun.
going to be a complete train wreck, one or the other.
That's right. This episode may never make it to the air.
This might not happen. We may be recording again after this, just so everybody knows.
That's right. We may redo this episode. So if you're viewing this, you're lucky.
Yeah, this is take one. If everybody's still on it and you hear take one on here,
that's right.
This is it.
This is it. Take one.
All right.
Here we go. Okay, so you are a leader. You have to lead all of your team members at the RE/MAX World headquarters. You're a leader to brokers, people who are buying franchises. You're a leader at home, doing it with your family. And so I want to know, what's the biggest area related to your role that you're curious about, and why? Or what are some of the things you're researching the most right now?
Wow.
It's a deep
You
question.
just went straight in.
It is, because I think, what the heck, so,
What goes through that guy's head?
Yeah, you and I have been friends for several years, and when I think about the pressure, when you really think about, man, when you have the CEO title, you don't get to sleep. Your brain turns on at 2 a.m. and you start thinking about stuff, and it's like, oh crap, I need to write this stuff down, or I need to make sure I do these things. And I think that a lot of people might be encouraged by some of your answers to these questions, and then be able to implement those things into their own businesses and with their own teams.
Yeah, okay, so I'll jump right into that one. And this is, you're right. First of all, running a business, running a company, and I actually had this conversation with somebody on a phone call right before I got on this recording, where we were talking about being a leader and being a CEO. And I get to coach and mentor and mastermind with a lot of different people who are business leaders. And it's not easy, because you generally don't get somebody to talk to. You've got to kind of work your way through the who, what, where, when, why of everything. But ultimately what you're looking for is, what's down inside, what's in their heart. Because if you can harness the heart of the people that you work with, if you can understand their feelings, have an extreme amount of emotional intelligence and an extreme amount of emotional maturity, and I'll break both of those things down here in a second, but to understand what they need, what's going on inside of them without them telling you, then you can act appropriately in order to help them find greater fulfillment. So there's so much psychology in leadership, and so much emotional intelligence, so much emotional maturity in leadership, that that's what I look at so much. Every time I talk to somebody, or when I'm laying there with my eyes wide open in bed thinking, okay, how is this person? I mean, that's just that really, more than anything, is what goes through my head, is how is this person? And you kind of bounce around amongst different people, or how is this group of people? Mm-hmm. Because if you can harness the head and the heart together, you can create your messaging. you can say things that people appreciate instead of things that people either discard or distracts them, or they just, they don't like. And you can gain that influence to get things accomplished. Because that's really what your job is. Your job is to help people find that internal energy, that fire burning inside their heart, in order to get things done that make them better, that build the business, that help other people, things like that. So that's probably, when you think about it conceptually, that's what I think about more than anything is, where's this person? How are they? And how can I help them go deeper into those emotions in order to create great things for themselves?
Right. And I think that's so powerful. That's something that I think about, as the owner of a business with a team, because we're only as strong or we're only as good as our team is, right? I mean, so if we can motivate our team members and our leaders so that they can motivate the people under them, then we have a strong company, right? We have a strong bond, and we have people who are loyal to the brand and want to spend their time and energy to grow it and make it into something great. And so I think that, that makes sense to me that you're constantly thinking about the individual, the team, the group, and to seeing like what you can do to put a fire in their belly so that they can do, great work.
Yes. I heard it put really well in this this training program that I'm going through right now, where what we do is we attract, we diagnose, and then we prescribe. Is just this simple process we go through. It's vague, and it gets more specific as you apply it to a human being and their challenges. But you attract their attention, you attract their being and their participation and things like that. You diagnose their challenges, and then you prescribe something that's not a Band-Aid, it's a painkiller. Mm-hmm. And so, you look at it, you think about like, when you're a kid or something, or your children or whatever, if they slip and fall and skin their knee or whatever, they come in and they're like, I want a Band-Aid. And really what they don't want a Band-Aid, they want a fix for what's going on. But the only thing that people know is to put a Band-Aid on it, which is very superfluous in solving people's challenges and helping them. And what they really want is they want the entire problem to go away and there to be a massive fix for it, but they don't know how to ask for that. And that's our job as leaders is to get as deep as we possibly can in order to create the greatest amount of fulfillment instead of a superfluous, appearance of a solution to things. And that's ultimately where businesses grow, is when you can attach deeper into people than not what they say they want, but what they truly need.
Yeah. What were the two things I wanted to go back real quick? You said it was emotional intelligence, and what was the other one?
Emotional maturity. So
what are those? Explain those to me.
Emotional intelligence is essentially your ability to understand other people's feelings, to recognize and understand their feelings.
That's huge. I think a lot of people lack that, especially leaders.
Yeah.
So
and the reason for that, Mark, is most people think inward. They think towards themselves instead of outward towards others.
Wow. Okay, so that's emotional intelligence. Emotional maturity.
Emotional maturity is essentially your ability to make decisions. So what you decide, you need to do at that moment, what you need to say, what you need to ask, if you need to dig deeper, ask good questions. But ultimately, it's your decision making. So you're recognizing their feelings, you're recognizing their emotions and their being, and then you are making decisions based upon what needs to happen. And you don't have to have somebody on the other end of this transaction in order for that to occur, because ultimately, your time management is emotional maturity. How you choose to go through the day, let's say you're by yourself and you don't see another human being, but you have to accomplish things. You have to make decisions. That decision management process is emotional maturity. So it could be, I'm going to just sit down and watch a movie as opposed to go and get my work done. That's emotionally immature because you're not making the decision to go and accomplish the things that you know need to get done. You're taking the easy way out and doing the things that don't show resistance in your world.
Another thing I want to chat with you about, and I think that a lot of people may not know this, is that you went back to college to get your MBA a few years ago as an adult. You chose to go back to college. So I have a few questions. One is, why did you do that? What did you learn about doing something that seems difficult to do as an adult? And then 3, how has that experience benefited you? So let's start out with, let's just explain, why did you do that? Why did you go back to school as, mid 40s to get your MBA?
All right. So I was kind of working, progressing in leadership positions throughout RE/MAX. And I was sitting there talking to Dave Liniger, the co-founder of the company, who's also been a mentor of mine and also was the, basically he's Mr. RE/MAX. And I was sitting there talking to him and he said, look, Adam, your leadership is really developing well, but really, truly, we're a public company. There's a high level of sophistication that is required in order to run a public company. So if you ever want to do this, you probably need to have a college degree. Because I dropped out twice. I probably had enough credit hours where I could go back and finish up my degree. But ultimately, I never finished it. And he goes, I think you need to go accomplish something like that. And I said, well, go get my bachelor's degree? And he goes, no, go get your MBA. And I go, oh, great. All right. I always thought that was this huge hill to climb. I mean, it's, you go to business school and you're like, geez, this is crazy. I can go sell stuff and do marketing and all the rest of that all day long. And I've been through a bunch of leadership institutes and whatever it might be. But ultimately, he goes, go do that and see what you can find out about yourself. And I thought, this is a very wise man telling me this. And I'm not one to overlook good advice. So sure enough, I went out and I did that. And, he truly, he wanted me to do that so that I had the opportunity to be in the selection process to possibly be the CEO of the company. And I'd gotten to the point where, if I don't have that, then okay, well, I'm obviously up against other candidates who do have that. How do I go and make myself the best I possibly can be? So I went and I got my MBA. And it was, it's easier to say it that way than it was to actually go do it. But so I just picked up the phone and called around and said, hey, I'm here at RE/MAX. And they're like, okay. And I had enough leadership experience and business experience where people are like, absolutely, you can test out of your bachelor's degree, not finishing that, you write an essay and things like that. And then the school says, sure, we'll put you in the business school for the MBA program. So I applied to DU, and which was close. It's a very reputable school. And I did a lot of research on the different schools, and I thought that one would be fantastic. Very entrepreneurial program. They have what's called an executive MBA program. So I applied for it, and next thing I know, they said, yeah, we're starting in like a month and a half. Can you do it? And I go, yeah. So I went and I got a partial knee replacement right before then. So I'm hobbling around on a cane, and, nothing like cramming a bunch of stuff into a very short period of time.
Right.
And then I went and started the MBA program while I was running marketing at RE/MAX headquarters.
So during that time, what did you like? I'm sure you were pushed further than you'd ever been before. I mean, I'm sure doing something like that, you're working a full-time job, you have a family, and then you're doing this MBA program. What are some things that you learned about yourself? And what are some things that you would encourage somebody who is maybe thinking to themselves, oh, I'm too old to do that, or that ship has sailed. What would you say about that?
Well, I guess it depends on how you view yourself right now, or how you view yourself before doing that. So I've always been a lifelong learner, and I believe, in fact, I just put out a video the other day about being a sponge, and that basically means that you take in information, but you also wring yourself out and you deploy that information where appropriate. And I've always taken and done that. So, and that was a piece of advice that I had gotten decades ago, is if you want to continue to grow and continue to get better in society and in life and help more people, you need to be the best sponge possible and learn. So I became a lifelong learner. So the whole MBA thing for me was like, oh, all right, I'm just going to go learn something else. I'm going to spend my hour or two a day that I normally spend learning working on business school. And then I'll go one day a week, and you spend 10 hours there, in that one day during the week. And then they give you, call it, I think it was like 20 some hours of homework a week, whatever it might be. So I just adjusted myself through, we talked about emotional maturity, my choice management.
Yeah.
But I was really, really good at managing all my projects and all my choices for 2 years. And that was when I participated in the MBA program.
Wow. And I'm sure during that time, I'm sure you probably, had to create a lot of systems and a lot of processes in order to like stay focused and do those things. And so, hats off to you, for that. And you're just a great example to anybody out there, anybody listening, to say, listen, if you put your mind to something, there's nothing that you can't achieve. No matter how old you are, it doesn't matter. You can put it, if you put in the work and you set your mind, game over. Like, you can do it. So I think that's cool, man.
That's it. It's life and success. Obviously there are certain physical things that you can and can't do based upon your current condition, but you've got the ability to put yourself in a situation where you accomplish pretty much anything you want to do, including going in and finishing a college degree, or maybe you didn't even finish high school. Go do it, but go accomplish something. But ultimately, I have to tell you, learning is not that hard if you want to learn. If you take and you put these systems in place, and it's really, you go get an MBA, probably about 40% what you learn, but 60% how you learn. You're learning how to benchmark, how to do program and different project management philosophies, how to deal with other people. There's a lot of leadership principles in it, presentation skills, things of that nature, where you're actually doing things. So it's not necessarily what you're learning, it's learning how to do that you get out of these. And I look back at even, like a bachelor's degree or an associate's degree or something like that, and they don't tell you that when you walk in the door. Okay, we're not as much interested in what you learn. We're interested in how you learn and getting you used to doing these things that society needs you to do in order to progress yourself, your career, your family, your lifestyle, whatever, and find a greater level for yourself of where you want to get to. So because that's what opens doors, is your ability to do things, not necessarily what you know. Because if you can do things, you can go figure out what you need to do.
That's right.
So it was fun. But and the hard part is I like to challenge myself. So, I was like, all right, let's see how good you can do at this. Instead of just, I just want to pass. Nope. Let's see how good you can.
What was your GPA?
I got a 4.0. And I'm proud of that because I got to tell you, this was, if I can, two-time college dropout, if I can go get a 4.0 at one of the best business schools around, for crying out loud, why can't anybody else? And it's simply put, are you applying yourself the way that you need to? And you can do anything you want. Anything. You just gotta do.
Yeah, dude, that's so encouraging. That's so awesome. All right. Hey, this is another question. If you could turn back the time and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell him?
Wow. I have a lot of lessons for him. A lot of lessons. But you know what? I have to say this. Regret is a powerful thing. And I'll just start with, I don't regret anything in life. What I would tell myself, though, is keep better track of the relationships that you have right now and those that you move forward with. Because we have so much that comes and goes in life. And it took me a while to figure out that the foundation for, your experiences in life that you end up with. Life is not about tangible items. Life is not about what can you buy. Life is about what can you experience. So, to look at it that way and understand the value of the human beings that you get to spend time with, I think it took me a while to figure that out, because you just kind of go through life and there's, just ants in the anthill and you're another ant in the anthill and you're like, oh, there's other ants. But if you stop and actually go, hey, Mark, how are you today? Tell me about you. I'm interested in you, in learning about you and caring about you and things like that, because I want to get close to other human beings because they're amazing. They're truly amazing. And I think I always like to help people, but I never really got to understand people as, what did you go do? Where did you grow up? Why did you grow up there? What was that about? Things like that. And I think that's a period of life that we miss, is understanding that deep connection and reflection that we can have. So I would tell myself that.
That's powerful. That's really good. All right. If you could have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Wow. 3 people.
3 people, dinner. Double Eagle Steakhouse, calamari appetizer.
Whoa, that's a good one. All right. So I would have to say Steve Jobs would be one of them.
Okay, that's a good one. That is a solid one.
Yeah. So because that guy, when you look at how he thought, and he's maverick attitude, but genius, just genius. So I certainly think he would be amazing to sit down with. Another one I would say is Aristotle.
Oh, look at you, the philosopher.
I'm blown away by why, Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle were able to take and understand human nature the way that they did, and talk about how humans think, the brain, the philosophies, our habits.
Such
what do we
long
like?
ago, too.
What's that?
Such long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Like the profoundness that those guys had hundreds and hundreds of years ago is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I mean, so we got Steve Jobs, we got Aristotle.
Number 3.
Gosh, I could probably list another 10 now that I'm just kind of racking my brain on this.
Okay, those 2 are dead. Do you have anybody living you'd want to have?
Somebody, you know what? I would like to. I like global perspective, just absolute global perspective. I think probably I would say the Pope. That'd be kind of an interesting one. Just sit down with the, because he's made like, and I grew up Catholic, not necessarily currently practicing Catholic, but realistically, you look at the transformation that man has taken the Catholic Church through, and to sit down and say, because he broke loose from a lot of philosophical arguments that organization has had over centuries of, okay, we're going to run our organization this way. And he's kind of said, nope, we're going to move on and we're going to do things differently now. So I think that would be fascinating to, I could name a whole bunch of different sports figures or artists or whatever that I think would be amazing. But I'd like to get in people's heads and listen to why they say what they do. I like Warren Buffett would be a good one to have sit down and have dinner with.
Sure.
Elon Musk, fascinating thought.
Maybe we get Elon on the podcast here.
Yeah, there you go. See what you can do, Mark.
All right. I'll look into it. All right, man. Well, hey, I want to go into a lightning round real quick. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions about things that you like. so we can get to know you. What's your favorite color?
Favorite color? I like this burgundy that I'm wearing right now.
That's a good color on you. I was gonna say it matches nice with your background today. That brown
Thank
wood
you.
and the burgundy shirt.
I'm kind of a fan of the burgundy.
Yeah,
Or you could call it like a Merlot or something like that.
That's right.
I don't know.
Sauvignon. What's your favorite food?
Steak.
Steak. A favorite adult beverage?
I don't drink adult beverages.
Okay, straight edge. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I will. I mean, I had a beer last weekend, but
Okay.
it's because I had a cigar, and I was like, I haven't had a cigar forever, so I might as well have a beer. I haven't had one of those forever either. So,
All right, your first car.
it was a Ford Fairmont, I think.
Oh, first job.
76. First job. I washed dishes at Country Kitchen, which was a breakfast place when I was 14.
I remember the Country Kitchen. Favorite candy?
I'm gonna go with
you're
the
a cookie guy. I know you're a cookie guy.
I like a good cookie, Mark. You've seen me sample a cookie or two.
Yes. Okay, what about favorite workout?
Favorite workout?
Yeah, are we doing upper body, legs? What's going on? Abs?
I like the whole body at the gym. I'll do a whole body if I have like an hour and a half.
Just get it all done.
Just get it all done. I'll do large muscle groups. I'll start with legs, and then I'll go to chest, back, and then arms.
Boom. Okay, favorite music?
I like classical.
A little Baroque. Get your mind.
I do like some Baroque. Yes, absolutely. Love the Baroque.
Awesome. Well, hey, man, thanks so much for being on the show today. We like to wrap up every show with asking our guests this one question. Adam Contos, how do you start with a win?
Mark, I get up every morning at 4:45. It used to be 4:30, by the way. So now, COVID is 4:45. And I start my day with a German Shepherd nose in my face. When my alarm goes off, Seymour comes over and greets me and says, "Hey, Dad, time to get up and go to the gym." Grab a cup of coffee. Kelly's up by then, and we head out the door to the gym and get in a great workout. So, get moving. Love the ones you're with, and hit the day hard.
Well, hey, man, love producing the show with you. Thankful for who you are and just what you offer to everybody.